I just introduced Adrian to Cadbury's Curly Whirlies backstage. They don't have them in Germany. He's never had one, and you're not going to start eating those, are you?
No, definitely
They are
not
terrible for lap time. Terrible. Yeah. Don't get involved.
Exactly.
Good to see you. Happy New Year. Welcome to the show. It's your first time at the show.
Yes, the first time at this show. Been obviously to many car shows in Germany and all over the place, but yeah, it's the first one here. Good to start the season in this racing show here. A lot of people, a lot of fans. Nice to see, and a lot of cars, a lot of race cars. Just quite nice to see the variety. A good show in the action arena. Yeah, a lot of race drivers.
You've seen the live action?
Really good. Yes, I've seen the cars drifting around.
Yeah.
Really, really good show.
Good
It's
stuff.
nice.
Yeah. Okay, so big change for you in 2014 after a number of years with Force India. You're heading to Sauber. Pressure for you because Nico Hulkenberg did such a good job last year?
Yeah, sure. He did a good job, but I don't see pressure. Pressure you got always in your whole life. If you want to achieve something, there's always pressure. There's competition, and but that's why I'm there. I'm glad to have the competition because I like it, and with this new team, I think it's a very good challenge for me to develop myself, to do a next step. I needed it after a while, or such a long time actually, with Force India, with one on the same team, and now a lot of benefits. It's close to my home. It's a Swiss team where I can speak German. And the facilities are much better. It's one of the best wind tunnels we got in Formula One. And so I think a lot of potential. And we have been competitors to Force India or to Force India to Sauber in the last few years. And hopefully this year, Sauber going to be in front of Force India at least.
You had some very good battles last year with our friend Paul de Resta. There was really nothing much between you two.
Yeah, well, he's a strong driver, and I enjoyed working with him. A shame he's not there this year, but at how quick it goes. I had the same situation a few years back, and but nevertheless, he's a young driver, and there's a chance for him again in Formula One. I'm not sure what he's gonna do this year, but he'll find his way. We have nice battles, a good team player, and I think the work we have done for Force India was very good. We maximized the points whenever we could, and we, as I said, worked together for the team to achieve the most points.
The car's performance tailed off towards the end of last year at Force India. Why do you think that was?
Well, I think the new tires which came in mid-season was one reason. The other reason was the stop of development in April, May for Force India. So Force India really had the plan to stop as early as possible and focus on 2014 car, which was of course not the best for the season, but they expect to gain those points back this season. Yeah, and who knows if it happens? But I think that we could have had an exceptional season with the car we had at the beginning. We were close to podiums and we were scoring a lot of points. We could have beaten McLaren, and so now we finished 6th, which was still a good success, but we lost, of course, one position. For them to gain that back, they actually need to be 4th this year, and they're going to be a big challenge. But who knows? I think they're not bad. Yeah, they're going to do a good job this year. But that's why we lost just in the last bit of the season, and then we got quite a few difficulties to actually reach points.
The battle in the midfield between the likes of Force India and Sauber is very, very close. Do you expect the same again this year?
I think it's going to be a bit a bit different. I don't think there's one only team who's dominating everything. So rule change is always good to bring the field a bit back together. Having said that, the midfield was very close. So I think in the front, in the midfield, it will be more step by step going down in the teams. So, but normally a regulation change it's good for small teams to probably to win gain positions and to have exceptional results. I think this is what we have seen in the past as well.
Are you excited by the new changes, the 1.6 litre turbo engines with energy recovery? Martin Brundle was just saying that you'd said to him the car may be 10, 12 kilometers an hour faster in a straight line.
Yeah, at least, or even more. So because we have less drag, we have less downforce also in the corners, we have harder tires and more power. So it will be just very different to drive, but we have much more curse power, and we have the turbocharger, which delivers more torque to the engine, maybe also a bit more difficult to drive. So it's going to be a very different category, different Formula One as we had it in the last few years with a V8. But it's nice always to have a change. But for sure, at the beginning, yes, there will be the one or the other cars stopping on the circuit or having reliability problems with the engines or so. So I think in the last season, there was just nothing technically any mistakes or so. The cars were so strong and so reliable. There was no engine failure, nothing.
More power and less downforce. This sounds good. This is the sort of thing the fans want.
Yes, so the cars look definitely, or they will be fast on the straight line. In the corners, of course, we are a bit slower, but yeah, from the fans' point of view, I don't think they're going to see a lot. And also during the year, we will have a lot of development. So sooner or later, the cars will be same speed or even faster than the last year's cars. That's like in history, it was always the case.
And with the new changes, do you think Sauber is in a position technically to capitalize on the changes?
Yes, I think so. It doesn't look bad because they know how to work with small resources, and also the way how you can use or you are allowed to use the wind tunnel in this year is very different to last year. So it's a cut down for all the big teams, but Sauber as a midfield team, they know how to work with restricted resources. So that will just play into our game. It will play into the game of smaller teams, and hopefully will bring all the field a little bit more together.
People are thinking that the first test at Jerez may be slightly chaotic, with lots of broken down cars and people scratching their heads.
Yes, I think so. I don't see it too dramatic, but for sure it's we'll see quite a few engine problems and cars stopping and breaking down. Who knows? But that's just normal for a new car coming to the first test. This is nothing unusual.
Esteban Gutierrez is your teammate in 2014. He's staying at the team. He's a young guy who is going to push you and push the team.
I think it's a good combination. Yeah, I'm still young, but I got my experience now. 7 years, or my 7th year in Formula One. Esteban is now the 2nd year with Sauber as a race driver. He was there as a test driver, and so he has his little experience, but growing up. So we got a young guy and me as the older one with a bit more experience. But I don't think it's a bad thing. We will push each other. Hopefully we're close, and it will make us both faster.
And Sauber fully intending to be at the first test at Jerez. I know Lotus have said they won't be, but you will be there.
Yeah, that's what we plan, and we should be there. As I said, it's very important to be at every test we got. A lot of things to test, and the more we can test, the better we will be at the first race.
I must just ask you about Goodwood. British fans are really knowledgeable. They love the history of the sport, and you were at the Festival of Speed, weren't you, driving all sorts of amazing cars?
Yes, well, cars are my passion, so and I always wanted to go to Goodwood. So I asked Porsche if I could go there just as a private driver, as Adrian Sutil, and driving their cars. And they said, yes, welcome. Come around and drive the 91730, 936, 935, 962. So all these cars from Le Mans. I think the best one was the 917, the first ever Le Mans winning car from Hans Hermann, the red car with white stripes. It was when I switched on the engine, it was like a firework behind me. The V12 was unbelievable. What a pleasure to drive it, and what a great event in general. I think
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is an exceptional event with all cars to look at. Beautiful. I really enjoyed it.
That's really good to hear. It's really refreshing that a guy who's a contemporary Formula One driver who cares about the history and has knowledge. It's not very. It's unusual that Formula One drivers care about what happened in the past.
Could be, yes. I don't know. Well, I really like the past. I like cars in general. I like the history about it, and not only racing, also road cars, classic cars. So many things you can pick up, and it's interesting to know where it all comes from. But on the other side, I can understand Formula One is so busy, and you haven't got much time to focus on something else. So I got plenty of books on my desk I wanted to read since 2 years, and I've made it for the first 20 pages or so. So
Yeah.
the time is very limited you got.
I think you will have earned yourself some new fans here because British motorsport fans are really knowledgeable and they love the history of the sport. Good to see you. Thank you for talking to us. We wish you the very best in 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Sutil.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian.